Hello, my friends. It's Jules Caldwell coming to you tonight. I am in a very different location. I am out and about. I'm in Toronto in a hotel room right now and excited to be here with my guest for tonight, Suzan Hart, our mindset mastery mentor. Thanks, Suzan, for joining us tonight. Hello.
Hey, I'm always excited to sit down with you. I'm excited for this event.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna have a great conversation.
We are going to have an amazing conversation because we're talking about mindset. And for those of you that are watching here with us tonight, we are here as part of our lead up to the Ignite Women's Conference that's happening on Saturday, October 14th. Super excited. I can't believe it, Suzanne. This is going to be our third conference.
Yes.
I just had some memories come up in my Facebook, and it was like the first conference was a year ago, mid-September. And I was like, how can it be already? And we're into our third one coming up. And Suzanne is one of our amazing speakers. Last week, if you recall, we had Yetta Decker join us, and we were talking about the importance of how play sort of opens things up for wealth, and wealth opens things up for play. And so tonight, Suzanne and I are going to chat a little bit without giving everything away. We're going to chat a little bit about mindset, because one of the things that I have seen and observed and heard from the women I talk with is that sometimes what we think about ourselves, our ability, our capabilities, what we deserve or not in our minds gets in the way of our ability to move towards our hopes and dreams. Would you agree, Suzanne?
Oh, absolutely. The best way to explain mindset is to listen to that voice that's in your head.
Mm-hmm.
You ever notice that voice makes up stories?
Oh, great stories all the time.
And it makes up stories about what you're good at, what you're not good at,
Yeah.
how you excel, who you are, all those things. And that's kind of like an indication of your mindset at play.
Yeah.
And I tell people that a mind that's not trained tends to go to these negative places. You ever know, when I find like when my mind's just racing, I can almost catch myself at times in this negative loop going, what am I doing? How did I get here? And so our mindset is our thoughts, our emotions, our self-talk, and it creates our what we say to the world and what we habitually do, and that creates our results, our outcomes. So imagine your mindset is not lined up with where you want to go and what you want to achieve. You've got a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I flashed back as you were talking there to, gosh, I guess it's maybe been 2 or 3 years since you and I. So full transparency, Suzanne actually worked with me. One of the things I was really challenged with in my journey to move forward was my mindset. And I had these negative stories and experiences that I was letting drive how I moved forward. And so I worked with Suzanne really closely. And there were days where, while I really loved Suzanne, I didn't like the words that were coming out of her mouth. She was, challenging me, but in a way that was so powerful. And sometimes we need opportunities and experiences and people in our life to light that fire underneath us, to look at things in different ways, right?
Yeah, what's really interesting about mindset is we are a society so conditioned that when something isn't working, we go get more skills. We think
Yeah.
we need more experience. We need to take another course.
Yes.
And one of the things I've come to realize is that sometimes it's just you.
Yeah.
And it's hard for people to just kind of go, oh, me. Yeah, it's you. It's how you're thinking and how you're moving through the world. So think of it this way, Jules. Your identity, my identity, cannot outperform where it's brought us to. So the person who wants this thing, when you have a vision or a goal, you're not actually the person yet who can achieve it, particularly if it's a big, lofty goal.
Yeah.
So we have to become that person. And that becoming is a transformation of your identity, which is, in other words, a transformation of your mindset, your thinking. And so it makes sense that we run into, I like to say, we run into the edge of ourselves. And it's almost like we go, okay, what, like, I don't know anything else. I don't know how to do anything different. Well, you're at the edge of who you know yourself to be. And now you have to expand, grow, transform, change. And that's your mindset shifting and changing and transforming, preparing you for the next thing.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I think we just need to pause for a moment there. There was so much to unpack, and we don't have enough time for it tonight. And that's why we want women to come to the Ignite conference. But like coming to the edge of yourself and whatever that hope and goal and dream is, you're not in the place where you need to be in order to do that. And you've got to get to this place where you can be. So much there. And so I wonder, Suzanne, so the Ignite Women's Conference is really, a passion of mine. And one of the outcomes that I hope from this is that women who are, I'll use the expression standing at a crossroad or in a place of transition in their life, they feel a sense of being unsettled or what I call dissatisfaction with status quo. They know something needs to change. Maybe they know what that is and they're afraid to do it. Maybe they don't know what it is, but they know they need to do something. What do we do with the mindset of transition in those phases of our life?
Transition is a really interesting thing, because when I say you're at the edge of who you know yourself to be, we all know when it happens. Like we're in a place and we want more, and we know more is out there somewhere.
Yeah.
However, who we are is here. And we call that our comfort zone.
Yeah.
So when I hit the edge of myself, I'm at the edge of what's comfortable. However, no big dream, no big vision is inside your comfort zone. That is the problem. So this is where we get stuck. And you have to choose discomfort.
Yeah.
Who wants to choose discomfort? So it's one thing when you've had a crisis and it's almost like life throws you out of your comfort zone and you go survival, right?
You're dog paddling through it all, figuring it
Oh my
out.
gosh. And you're like, oh, I got to survive. I got to survive.
Yeah.
However, you didn't choose that. Life happened.
Yeah.
When we are at places of transition and we know that we are no longer supposed to be standing in this place, now we are required to choose discomfort. I'm required to step outside what's comfortable because what I want is out there. Well, who wants to choose that?
Not very many people.
No. And
or when rubber hits the road, there's people who say they want to do it, but when it comes time to taking action, there's very few who are prepared to do that.
Right. Or we pop out and we go, oh, that's uncomfortable. And we pop back in, get back to comfort, pop out, pop back in. And the thing to remember is my mind, your mind is really built to keep us safe.
Yeah.
So when you step out there, I like to talk to my mind. I like to talk like your mind goes, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We're quite comfortable where we are. Life is good. We're making this. Things are good. Why would you go out there? Do you not know we don't know what's out there? It's uncomfortable. And so your mind goes, come back into where it's comfortable. However, we know that what we want is out there.
Yeah.
So the question we're going to answer, and the question I will be answering at Ignite, is how do we not only step beyond what's comfortable, but stay in that place of discomfort?
Yeah.
How do we stay out there?
Yes, I love that. How do we stay in that place of discomfort so that we can move forward? I think it's so powerful. And I mean, you and I have worked together for a couple of years now. I've heard you, talk about mindset for so many times, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I so needed to hear this tonight myself, because I think there are those times where we're on the edge of something and we know there's opportunity, there's blessing, there's amazing things that can happen. And it gets hard. It's so uncomfortable. And it's easy to want to revert back and become complacent almost in what our comfort area is. So thank you for giving me a little kick in the butt there tonight for myself even.
Well, I think it's for all of us, and if I reflect back, I remember your first Ignite.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching you now, poised, comfortable, really owning this space that you've created as called the Ignite Conference. However, if we rewind before, it was intentional discomfort because you had the choice of bailing, as we all do when we're doing something new, but you stepped into that discomfort, and there was times where you wavered. There's times where you faced your uncertainty. There was times it was like, I don't know, all these things. However, what happens when we stay out there long enough is the comfort and the poise that we're seeing now.
Yeah.
And I think this is the thing I want everyone who's listening to really grasp, Jules, is that life gets really juicy out there.
Yes.
Life gets exciting out there. And I know that when I choose to step out and stay out long enough, I
Hmm.
feel most alive
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
because I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm expanding, and I'm actually inspiring myself, right? And
Mhm.
you see it on people pepping their steps, bringing their, they're walking with a beat. There's a
Yeah.
growing confidence, and there's almost this um, magic about the facing your fear and surviving.
There is. There really is. It's terrifying at first, but at the end of the day, the feeling of empowerment, knowing that you have taken a leap of faith and in fear sometimes, and then but still moved forward, I think is really powerful. And I love that message, and thank you for sharing that, because for those of you who are joining us now, I'm here tonight with Suzan Hart. She's a mindset mastery mentor and one of the amazing speakers at the upcoming Ignite Women's Conference on Saturday, October 14th. And I'm just always in awe of the power and the importance of the message that you share around mindset. And it always comes with action, right?
Mhm.
There's a choice. And I think that's one of the things that I want for women who come to Ignite. I want us to be in this safe place together where we recognize that we are on the edge of ourselves and we know we need to take action. We're better together when we link arms. And
Absolutely.
sometimes community is the best place to seek that accountability and support to help us when our minds start telling us otherwise as well.
Yeah, for sure. We all need friends and peers who are able and willing to remind us of who we are.
Mhm.
Because when you're in that time of stepping outside what's comfortable,
Yeah.
there's so much uncertainty that sometimes you don't remember who you are. So
Yeah.
the beautiful thing about community is when you're in doubt and when you're in an uncertainty and when you want to retreat, all it is a friend to say, no, you got this. This is who you are. This is your greatness. These are your talents. These are your treasures. This is what's brilliant about you. And it's almost that boost. Like, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot in the moment, right? Like the fear took me and I forgot.
Yeah.
And then you can keep moving. I think the beautiful thing that we're seeing as a result of the Ignite conference and as a result of people coming together and having those moments in the day where people are like, I knew I'm in the right place. Oh my gosh, I had an
Oh,
epiphany. Oh, it's definitely time to move, is the sense of expansion that happens,
yeah.
and the sense of, oh my gosh, I'm ready to do this. And we've seen people go on journeys and come back and come in
Yes.
a different person. And when I say different, I don't mean better. It's like they've tapped into their own greatness and
Yes.
they've found a part of themselves that they're just like, oh my gosh, look at me. Oh, that was in there.
Some of the stories of the women that we have been talking to and working with over the last year, over the last three Ignite, or the previous two Ignite conferences, just phenomenal. And
Mhm.
the leaps of faith that some of them took in themselves. So ladies, if you're listening tonight, I don't want Suzanne and I to give away everything that's going to happen at Ignite, but the Ignite Women's Conference is Saturday, October 14th. There's still lots of time to register. Get your tickets soon, though, because when they're gone, they're gone.
Yes.
It is a unique experience. It's not your typical women's conference by any means. It's really a great opportunity for you to come and sort of be on that edge and be open in a safe and warm environment. And like Suzanne said, like, you're brilliant, you're amazing, and this is your time. And I know that there's someone out there right now who's listening to this and is on the edge of themselves. This is where you need to be. If you're hearing this message right now, the Ignite Women's Conference is the place for you to be, to come together, to take that step, to grow in community, to take action. It's your time now. So, Suzanne, before we wrap up, what's sort of one piece of advice or word of wisdom that you have to share with people who might be on the edge, thinking about whether or not they should come to the conference? What word of wisdom do you have for them?
You know, it is, well, this is how I look at it. If you know that you need to be there, and we tend to know, however, there's uncertainty, there's fear, there's, "Oh my gosh, I don't know anybody." Take those as clues as you're right where you're supposed to be. You're moving towards where you're supposed to be. Because one of the things I always remind myself, Jules, is that when I look at something or I decide something and it scares me,
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I'm right on track." Right? Because growth comes with fear.
Yeah.
Expansion comes with a little bit of fear. It comes with trepidation. It comes with, a little bit of doubt, all those things. So when you start feeling those things, it's
Yes.
not a reflection of what you're not. It's a reflection that you're moving towards who you're becoming.
Oh,
So if that
yes.
if that's what's going on, that's a sign. That's a
Sign.
clue.
That means you're supposed to come to the Ignite Women's Conference and see
Exactly.
where it takes you. I love
Yeah.
it. Woo.
And the second thing I'll say is if you're sitting in a place of boredom,
Mhm. Mm.
I've been here too long,
Yeah.
life feels flat,
Yeah.
I want more, and
Yeah.
you're not sure what your next step is, that's also a sign that you wanna be in the room, because sometimes we need to be put in a place where people are creating,
Mhm.
are excited about what's next, where people are thinking about what's next, because the masterminding and the power of the collectiveness of us
Yeah.
will, one, stimulate you, and two, probably give you inspiration to do something, to talk about what you want to do, to dream. And that's the first step, right? Just being willing to say, yeah, I know I need to move. I don't know where I'm going, but let
Yes.
me go dream. Let me
Yes.
be part of that great conversation because something's going to come up for me.
Woo! Oh my gosh, I am on the edge of my seat right now. It's all I can do to just stay contained and be professional in our conversation. You are on fire in your message, and ladies, if you were in doubt, let this be confirmation that you are supposed to be signing up for the Ignite Women's Conference. If any of what Suzan just said resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, you need to be at the
Yeah.
conference.
Yeah.
I can't say anymore. Suzan, thank you for lighting my fire again and reminding me of the amazing power of us all coming together and just trusting and oh, I'm so excited. I'm excited for the next round of women who are going to come to this conference and the impact and the power that's going to come from that. And I wanted to say shout out to the people who are following us here right now. I see the retired old broad just left a message. For those who don't know, the retired old broad is actually my mom, but she has followed this journey and went out on a limb. She was on the edge of herself at one point, and she started doing a blog called The Retired Old Broad. And she spoke at the when did we do it? April conference.
Yeah.
And, she's been consistent. And so, hi, and thanks for joining us tonight, Mom/Betty/Retired Old Broad. Just a perfect example of the kinds of things that can come from just saying yes to an opportunity that presents itself.
And I think what an inspiration Betty was, 'cause and just to put the context, she was there as our
The
photographer.
photographer. Yeah.
And just imagine, so there as a photographer doing, doing her daughter a favor,
Yep.
and in the conversation got inspired.
Yeah.
In the conversation got inspired, and blogger, photographer, like, talk about transformation,
Yeah.
and I think it just goes to show that sometimes we don't know what we don't know. We
Yeah.
don't know what we need, but just being in a space can have you just have "Oh my gosh, I'm
Yeah.
right where I'm supposed to be. Who knew?" And look what the magic that's happened.
Yep. All right, my friends. Okay, so we're going to wrap for tonight, but That's it. We got to see you there. If you're hearing this, if this speaks to you at all, sign up for the Ignite Women's Conference, countryjewel.ca. Look for conferences. It's on the front page. Suzan is going to be one of our amazing speakers. We heard from Yetta last week. Next week, we're going to have Virginia joining us. We've got a couple of panelists as well, and so I'll introduce them over the next couple of weeks. This is your time. This is your place to be. And I can't wait to meet you, to hear your journey, to journey with you, and to just see what's next for all of you. So Suzan, thank you for joining us tonight. Looking forward to seeing you at the conference, and in living and loving the life we live, let's just go and have an amazing time. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Jules.
All right.